Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and do another video. Sorry about the view, but yeah, the weather's still not that great, and didn't feel like going around, sliding around in it. The roads are wet. But anyway, this video, I want to talk a little bit about histrionics, people who are histrionic, not diagnosed as, but their behaviors really stand out there, which is one of the things histrionics tend to do, really stand out there. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Read the disclaimer in the description box below this video on YouTube. Anyway, but my experience with people who have these kinds of behaviors, I've mentioned it so many times, but one of the things I want to talk about is their emotions. Now, the things that I've said before about, like, they're very flamboyant, yeah, and they just stand out. They talk really loud, they laugh really loud, everything's very loud on that side. And then plus some of them, when they're younger, I would say very flirtatious. As they get older, not as much. For some of them, one size doesn't fit all in any of this. And so many different things, but not all of them have the same thing about them. As I mentioned before, some of them have like this narcissistic twist to it, too. Yeah, and the other day, before I go on with this part, the other day I did a video about, my alarm goes off here, I did a video about, I was really feeling this one thing really strong. One thing I was feeling very passionately about, it was about this new rules and all that, and so I made it when there was that feeling inside of me. And this is nothing new to me about, I am not histrionic at all. I'm kind of pretty much the opposite, really. And anytime there's any kind of emotion, because I'm very logical, I tend to lean more to the logical side. I don't express my emotions as much. I do have them. But I don't express them, and I'm not histrionic, so I haven't got it down to where they do, where they can, some of them, display their emotions so dramatically, or you really hear it in their voices. I see even doing that. It makes me laugh because it just doesn't sound like me. And that video, I thought I did it, I was really passionate about it. I was happy. I put it up, and I let it stay up for just a little while, because when I listened to it, I was like, that doesn't sound like me, for one thing. I'm talking just the sound, the audio was off. It seemed like it's always been, ever since I started, it always has been. 5 years of experience with it, yeah. Anyway, but also just that well, right after that, let me put it this way, right after that, I saw a woman, she just doesn't seem like someone who would be very, she was new to me, very, online video, someone who's very histrionic, but she seemed like she was trying to be, and didn't come off right. But recall, I've been around people my whole life, I'm 56 years old, that as far back as I can remember, who were rather histrionic, rather dramatic, and everything else, and all this stuff, different variety, but yeah, that. And so I would be thinking that way. They show their emotions that way. But maybe the people like me, when we do show our emotions or our passion about a topic or whatever, or even if, we're showing our side of the story kind of thing, and next to a histrionic person, we just don't sound right. You see? It sounds like too forced, but with them, it's so at ease. Think about that. And I've done videos about narcissistic people, when that's the norm. Think about when the norm is histrionic people. Now, a little bit more about this, where I was going to go with this, before I got caught up in all that. One of the things that I have experienced myself, like I said, I'm not very histrionic at all. Even maybe histrionic fleas is, like they say, narcissistic fleas, when you pick up bad behaviors from the narcissistic person. Mine would be more of histrionic, but I'm like I said, pretty much the total opposite. Now, one of the things I have noticed is that when some people think this way, that say you have a situation where you're really hurt, your feelings are hurt or whatever, or something sad happened, something bad happened, whatever it is. I've seen this in my lifetime, so of course, that you're standing there and say you're crying, and because you're very upset or something really sad happened, like I said, and say there's somebody else there that comes up that you have to speak to. Say I'm thinking of the time I had to get my mom in the hospital, so that's what I'm thinking, and it was the EMTs and the police were in the house and all that stuff to get her into the hospital, and you're crying, but you have to talk to them, and you can somewhat, stop the crying. You're not being hysterical crying, any of that, and you stop it because you have to deal with, be a mature person and deal with the situation at hand. Now, I think some people can do that. I think there is it's like on a spectrum or a continuum to how you might behave. And it's not on one like, oh, that's histrionic. Well, here goes my alarm again. But I'm snoozing my alarm and it keeps going off. But instead, it's not about histrionics. It's just about, it just depends on who you are and what you've learned how to do and how you can do it. I think there's a variety of things that can go along with this. But I'm just stating, people who are not histrionic can do that. But it seems like some people think that if anybody does that therefore they do have, without a doubt, a personality disorder or some kind of disorder. And see that me trying to do that, and that's kind of like me trying to mimic how they put it out there. I can't do it. I can't. It just sounds so fake. It is fake for me to mimic because I'm not like that. Phew, got all that. But anyway. But no, a person can be very emotional, or a person can be laughing, and then something hit them, or just a second or something happens, and they go from laughter to tears. Okay, very rapidly. And of course, that could be, and it might not be. But I worry because too many people are saying it is. It either is or it's not. All or nothing, black, white. And it's starting to pour down rain, and my alarm has went off. How many times? So I need to go in the house. It's an alarm, by the way, for me to take my blood pressure medication. So yeah, it might be a good idea. But anyway, so I'll wrap this up. But I want to make that point. Too many people seem to be online, seem to be diagnosing people. Okay, and some of them, they're using it to simply insult. Is it like a new insult? Oh, you're a narcissist. Oh, see, it doesn't come out right, does it? But that's how they do it, with so much passion. Oh, you're a narcissist, or oh, you're histrionic. Oh, you're hysterical, you have hysteria. So, I'm telling you, that just doesn't come out right for me. But you get the gist of it. Have you noticed that? Anyway, like I said, it's pouring down rain, and I'm going to go inside. Talk to you on another video. Bye.